Hi, math students. This is Mrs. Mullins. I'm here to walk you through your form for McRae and Parsons math answers today. So as you see on my screen here, I have written notes out on the right side, and on the left side, there's the form that you need to fill out. So make sure you put your last name, your first name, your block, and then here's the questions are not numbered, but here's the first one. So it says, which of the following is not a formula for finding volume? So V equals volume equals length times width, or volume equals base times height, or volume equals 1/2 base times height, or volume equals length times width times height. Look at my notes. I wrote a bunch of different formulas for finding volume for you to be able to answer this question. I'll pause while you take a look and answer the question. Now we're on to this question number 2, although it's not numbered. What's the volume of this rectangular prism? So look over in my notes here. The volume of a rectangular prism means you take the volume equals the base times height. So I put the numbers in for you. So you're just multiplying base, which is 5, times height, which is 2, which is height, times 7. So it's 5 times 2 times 7. For this one, remember volume equals base times height and volume equals length times width times height. So the formula you're going to use for the rectangular prism is actually base times height, which is 72, see in my notes, times 9. 72 times 9 will give you the answer for this problem. Don't forget, you can pause through each end so that you can make your answer choice. I'm on to this question. Find the volume of each rectangular prism. Remember, volume equals base times height. Volume also equals length times width times height. As you can see, you have 3 different numbers. So really, right here's the notes. You're going to take volume times length times width times height, which is 5 times 8 times 4 will give you the answer. I'm going to pause. Now we have Mr. Jones building a garage. What's the volume of the garage? Well, we see the number 12 foot, 9 foot, and 7.5 foot. So you're just going to do length times width times height, 12 times 9 times 7.5. Here's the bicycle ramp for competition. So it's a triangular prism. And remember, she gives you the formula, volume equals 1/2 times base times height. So in your calculator, you put 1/2 or 0.5 is 1/2, 0.5 times 12. See, that's kind of misleading because they have a 12 and a 13, but you're going to use the 12 number in the back times 8 on the side and times 5 over here on the side. So it's 12 times 8 times 5, as you see over here in my notes. That will give you the correct answer in cubic feet. Here's the Canada Post mailbox. This one's tricky. It's multiple steps. So you first have to find the area for this rectangle right here, which, as you see in my notes, I tell you, you're going to do volume equals base times height times height. Well, the volume is 70 times 85 times 180. And that number you're going to hold on to because you also need to find the volume for the second shape. See, she parted it into 2 different shapes. So this one is the rectangular prism or triangular prism actually, which that's 1/2 in my notes, 1/2 times base times height times height. So it's 1/2 25 times 70 times 85. So it's 1/2 times 25 times 70 times 85. And that answer you're going to add, because you want the total of this whole thing. So you're going to add the first number you got for this volume and the number you got for this volume, and then you'll get your total answer here. So figure that out and we'll go on to the next one. So this one is about a machine part, and you see there's two different figures. One's inside, in the middle of the outside. So really that means you're not adding, but you're going to be taking away. And it's, again, a 2-3-part kind of step. So the first step is you're going to find the volume for the outside shape, and then you're going to find the volume for the inside shape. So number one, here's my notes. Number one, V equals 8 times 4 times 5. You get that answer and you put it in, you hold it, write it down, and then the volume for the inside shape is 1 times 4 times 5, because the 5 didn't change, the 5's the height, this height. So it's 1 times 4 times 5, and you get that answer. And then you need to subtract the bigger number from the smaller number from the bigger number, actually. So number one's answer should be subtracted by number two's answer to get the final answer. So I hope you figure that out correctly. Now we have Jaden and his locker and the issue with boxes. So what you really need to do is you need to find the volume of the box. Well, the box that's 4 feet long, 3 feet wide, 2 feet high. So that's 4 times 3 times 2. You see in my notes, 4 times 3 times 2. Well, I said 4 times 2 times 3. And then I wrote the dimensions right underneath that for his storage locker, which his storage locker is 12 feet long, 6 feet wide, 9 feet high. So it's 12 times 6 times 9. And I got that answer. So what you need to do then is take those answers and divide, because you need to find out how many boxes. You're not adding because it's not more than, you're not subtracting because it's not less than. You need to figure out how many boxes will fit in. So that means you're dividing. So you take the first answer and the second answer and you divide them, and that will give you the total answer for this problem. And finally, the last problem. So you have the dimensions for box A. So again, its volume equals base times height times height. And so you're taking 16 times 25 times 32, and you get that answer. And this kind of is simplistic in a way that's deceiving. So you take this answer that you get, 16 times 25 times 32, and then you divide by 3.5, because it's for each box, all the dimensions are 3.5 less. So you're dividing this number by 3.5 to get box B. And that's what my notes say. So you're going to find 16 times 25 times 32, and then you're going to divide that by 3.5, which is what you'll get for box B. And then you take that number and just leave it in your calculator. Really, you don't have to do anything with it. And then divide 3.5 again, because that's box C. And then that answer you divide by 3.5, because that's box D. So because they're all 3.5 less than each other. So you get the first answer, divide by 3.5, divide by 3.5, divide by 3.5, and you get your final answer. I'm going to pause. Okay, math students, I hope that you got all the right answers because of looking at my notes. Please leave me a message that this helped or this didn't help, so that I know how to help you in the future. I hope you're staying healthy and safe. Wash your hands, practice social distancing and all those things, and we'll talk with you soon.